Hi. Um, this time I will just deal with the topic of karma, which is action, which is actually the principle of causality, and how is that related with a better life. As I mentioned before, all is about awareness, and once we are aware that whatever is my experience at this point in my life, that awareness of that experience could be changed, if you would, into something better for the self, then I have the responsibility of doing so. Knowledge brings responsibility. And predestination, even though it's there, that predestination is actually tied up nicely together with my awareness. Whatever I'm experiencing right now is the consequence of something which I have performed in the past. But in the past I didn't have this knowledge, this understanding, this awareness. But now I do have it, so there is an opportunity for change. And then the question is, what are the types of actions that I should do? As a spiritual being, those actions, those activities are completely different. And if I was just aware of the physical body and the role that the physical body plays. How is that? Many times I can think that if I, for instance, allow a little child to go to school, I pay his tuition or her tuition, then obviously I'm doing deeds that will allow me to experience probably the same thing in another life, or something similar in the same life that I'm living, which is to be able to go through education. Now, the question is, will that be something considered to be good or bad? In the consciousness of this role, we label that as good, because to have good education or to have education gives a person the opportunity to have a better job, and we equal that with a better life, etc. But it's a very simplistic understanding. And even though that person can have a better job and education and all those things, that person is not assured of having a good life. So here is where the concept of spirituality comes into the picture, because anything that allows the person to have a good life, a happy life, which usually deals with spiritual values, then that it will be what it is better for the person. Happiness is a feeling, and that feeling we can feel because it's within ourselves. But without that introspection that allows us to find that, we will always be looking at the surrounding environment and how that affects and how that has an effect in us. So, a good action then, from the perspective of an eternal being, is something that will allow that being to spark that awareness. Anything that is spiritual in nature is good for the soul. The soul needs that understanding. On the other hand, if we are just feeding the soul with salty popcorn when that soul is thirsty for a good glass of water, that popcorn could be actually any material item, any hierarchical item, anything that basically enhances the ego. All those things is what we commonly refer as being good. But it goes the other way around, because we haven't reached what the soul really wants, which is something similar to its own value, which is spiritual in nature. So until and unless we understand that, our activities will be an everyday activity and we'll be getting the fruit of that activity, but those activities will not give us fulfillment that we're searching for.